Hello everyone, today we'll be having a class on meaning, definition and characteristics of recreation. Thomas Mann, a German novelist, short story writer, social critic, philanthropist, essayist and 1929 Nobel laureate brilliantly quoted, "Recreation, which is to say, a refreshing exercise of the organism, because it was in immediate danger of overindulging itself in the uninterrupted monotony of daily life and growing indifferent." As opposed to the modern society individual, who is provided with the luxury of enjoying all kinds of technological advancements that has provided comforts even beyond our wildest imaginations, our ancestors in the primitive world had to labor their way vigorously even to fulfill the basic necessities such as food and shelter. Today, we enjoy all comforts of life has to offer with the push of a button. However, on the other hand, we have been faced with a lot of physical, mental, emotional and social disturbances. The revolutionary development of science and technology has reduced the level of efforts that was initially required in all walks of life, be it our home, workplace, agricultural sector and even the industries. A decline in the rate of codependence among the individuals led to social problems. The technological developments reduced the level of work, causing physical problems. Working for long durations on mechanical devices and machines led to various mental problems. Work hours led families and friends spending less time with one another, also leading to a number of emotional problems. There is a perk though of all these technological advancements, which is it makes our work a lot more easier for us and also reducing the time required to carry them out, creating a lot of free or leisure time after the working hours. On the contrary, recreational gadgets such as television, video games, computers and these days the addiction to the social media sites have glued an entire generation of adults, youth and children to their smartphones and other gadgets, again resulting in inactivity and also a lot of physical, mental, social and emotional problems as well. To counteract both the aspects, that are the utilization of free or leisure time in a constructive manner and to make an individual, irrespective of the age group, more physically, mentally, socially and emotionally active so that the growth and development takes place proportionately, active recreation rather than the passive ones are a must of the modern era. Going through the following segments will put more light and provide a clear understanding on the meaning of recreation, the definition and various characteristics of recreation. To start with, we will first go through the meaning of recreation. Recreation carries different meanings to different people, with a wide range of activities that may be indoor or outdoor and may have different outcomes. It is very important to break the monotony of daily routine. Recreation aims at teaching people to utilize their free time in a constructive manner. The American Association of Health, Physical Education and Recreation, also referred to as APHER, states that recreation is a special field that contributes to the satisfaction of basic human needs for creative self-expression. It helps to promote total health, the physical, mental, emotional and social, provides an antidote to the strains and tensions of life, provides an avenue to abundant personal and family living, and develops effective citizenship and vitalizes democracy. Recreation, as illustrated by the Cambridge Dictionary, is a noun which is a way of enjoying yourself when you are not working. Recreation is an activity of leisure being discretionary time. However, recreation carries different meanings to different people and can be applied to a variety of activities irrespective of the age or profession of an individual or child. Recreation is for everyone. It is not limited to a particular group of people or age or activity. Dr. John H. Finlay has pointed out that the word recreation is broad enough to include play in its every expression and also many activities that are usually not thought of as play, such as music, drama, craft, every free or leisure time activity and especially creative activity for the enrichment of life. Recreation is life in itself. It is devised to regain lost vigor and to get a sense of joy, refreshment, satisfaction as well as achievement. In the modern era, the pressure of performing is prominently visible among all age groups, be it children in schools, youth in the colleges, adults in the workplace. Everyone wants to be the one to shine out and be a step ahead of the peers. This constant need among individuals to survive in this demanding environment leaves them exhausted and socially incompetent to actually have healthy interpersonal relationships. The management in schools, colleges and offices therefore gives a lot of importance to extracurricular activities and promote class trips, educational excursions, picnics, corporate retreats, etc. in order to break the monotony and also to remove the exhaustion caused by their stressful daily lives. Let us go through a few definitions of recreation. Recreation is a term understood and interpreted differently by different writers and experts. One's philosophy is reflected in the definition, for a definition marks the limits of a term which sets a boundary as to what is and not to be included. It has been variously characterized as an activity which is voluntarily carried out by individuals just for a pleasure and satisfaction that it brings to the participant, whether through relaxation, refreshment of strength after toil, renewal of spirit, the opportunity for self-expression, relief from boredom, release of emotional tension and provision of an outlet for expressed impulses, testing of one's powers, the attainment of a sense of achievement, the forgetting of one's worries, sheer fun or mere strengthening of the ego that comes from the feeling of adequacy and self-esteem. It is the activity plus an attitude on the part of the individual which is more important. Let us now look at some of the definitions and try to develop a more clear understanding so that at the end we will be capable of formulation of our own definition based on our philosophy of recreation. The Encyclopedia Britannica has given the definition that recreation means refreshment after toil and sorrow, pleasurable occupation of leisure time and amusement, a new creation. Chambers' 20th Century Dictionary defines it as the kind of recreation that education is advocating can be defined by 5 descriptive terms. First, the leisure time. To be recreation, the activity must be engaged in during one's free time. Second, it has to be enjoyable. The activity engaged in must be satisfying and enjoyable to the participant. Third, voluntary. The individual must have chosen of his own volition to engage in this pursuit. That has been no coercion. Fourth is constructive. The activity is constructive. It is not harmful to the person physically, socially, or in any other way conversely. It helps him to become a better integrated individual. And the last one being non-survival. Eating and sleeping are not recreational activities in themselves. One may engage in a picnic where a wonderful lunch or dinner is involved, but other facets of the affair, such as the social games and fellowships, are important parts of recreational activity. G.D. Butler has defined recreation as any form of leisure time experience or activity in which an individual engages from choice because of the enjoyment and satisfaction which it brings directly to him. Another definition has been given by Mayer and Brightbill, and they have defined recreation as an activity voluntarily engaged in during leisure time and primarily motivated by the satisfaction of pleasure derived from it. According to Joseph Lee, play for children in recreation is creation or the gain of life, and play for adults is recreation or the renewal of life. According to Dr. John H. Finlay, the word recreation is broad enough to include play in its every expression and also many activities that are usually not thought of as play, such as music, drama, craft, every free time activity, and specially created activity for the enrichment of life. Hutchinson has defined recreation as recreation is a worthwhile, socially accepted leisure experience that provides immediate and inherent satisfaction to the individual who voluntarily participates in an activity. According to Otromny, recreation is not a matter or notion, but rather emotion. It is a personal response, a psychological reaction, an attitude, an approach. It is a way of life. According to Wilson, recreation is concerned with those activities in which a person participates during hours other than work. It implies that the individual has chosen certain activities in which he voluntarily engaged because of an inner self-motivating desire. Another author, that is Gerald B. Fitzgerald, has defined recreation as recreation is leisure time and recreation is the expansion of human interests in free time. According to Dr. James S. Plant, recreation is interested in the things which people are doing rather than in the finished products. Butler, in his Introduction to Community Recreation, has defined that recreation is any form of experience or activity in which an individual engages from choice because of the personal enjoyment and satisfaction which it brings directly to him. Recreation refers to the use of that leisure and primarily on some qualitative scale. For children, these activities can be called play, but for adults, certainly recreation. It was given by an anonymous person. Recreation has been defined as a type of experience, as an area of rich and abundant living, as a specific form of activity, as an attitude or spirit, as off-the-job living, as an expression of inner nature of man, as a phase of the educational process, as a way of life, as a matter of the emotion, as an outlet for creative urge, and as a means for lifting the wings of the spirit. It has also been described as fun, refreshment, diversion, or as less serious and more passive type of playful activities. Now we will be putting light on the characteristics of recreation. In order for a recreational program to be effective and to benefit the individual or participant to the fullest, it must have the following characteristics. First is leisure time, followed by enjoyable, self-satisfaction, voluntary participation, constructive, socially accepted, non-survival. Let us now discuss the characteristics in detail. To start with, we'll start with the leisure time. It is very important that the recreational activity are planned in the free time only. Keeping in mind this point of view, one should not leave during the working hours or engage in any form of recreational activity or activities. Second is, it should be enjoyable. As mentioned earlier, that recreation is meant to recreate lost vigor. Hence, the program scheduling needs to be interesting and enjoyable and not a boring one. Self-satisfaction. The activity engaged in must bring immediate and direct satisfaction to the participant or individual involved in it. Voluntary participation. There must not be any compulsion from the management on the employees when it comes to choose or participate in a recreational activity. The individual's choice should be given the utmost importance when it comes to choosing the activity. Next is constructive. Activities have to be such that it helps an individual or the participant to become a better integrated individual and increase his productivity when he gets back to his work. The recreational activity should be constructive. It should not be harmful to the individual or the participant in any manner, be it physically, mentally, socially, or in any other way as well. It should be socially accepted. In such cases, the recreational activity has to be socially acceptable and individually beneficial as well to the participants. Socially acceptable recreation leads towards positive side, for example, games, hobbies, tours, watching informative videos or channels, etc. Last but not the least, non-survival. One cannot consider eating or sleeping as recreational activities. One may engage in picnic or a lunch or a dinner, but there must be other parts such as social games and fellowships which form the backbone of any such event. Without constructive activities which lead to cohesive team building or individual growth, the whole meaning of recreation will be lost. Hence, recreation, which is often referred to as play among children, is an organized form of activity which is mainly directed to benefit an individual and to break the monotony of his daily routine, which ultimately leads to the overall development of a participant from an individual to a better integrated individual. Thank you.